Hello, George.
Hi,
So,
hello, hello.
we've known about you for quite a while already, and so we are really grateful for this interview. So, just to start off the entire thing, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my name is George. Um, I'm currently in my last semester and last year also as an advertising student.
Mhm.
So I've actually started my whole entire even foundation and degree journey here in Xiamen. Currently, I'm doing my internship at a local production company. So they do mostly like filming for advertisements. But on the side, aside from studying, I also do filmmaking, not only to create contents for myself, but also as freelance videographer for people who want to create content for their brands or maybe their personal kind of stories. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. Well, first question, what inspired you to pursue filmmaking?
Okay, this actually goes quite far back.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, I've always, last time when it was I think 6 years back, like the hype was, vlogging, Casey Neistat, everything vlogging. So whenever I go out to kind of like on a vacation with my family, I would just want to capture, use my phone, capture some like funny moments of my brothers and everything. So after a while of just capturing very lame videos, I feel like, okay, I want to try to kind of put it all together so that I can show it to my family and then we can watch it as like, oh, it's like a recap of our family trip. So I think like that kind of, I didn't grow up watching a lot of filmmakers, directors and everything. So I grew up mainly as I want to just create some videos so that I can let my families watch it and have a great time. Yeah.
Okay. Then, second question, why did you choose to be a filmmaker after everything?
Um, okay, so like right after the part that I mentioned just now, um, I I've always like kind of studied in like the science subjects. So filmmaking didn't have anything to do with what I was studying. But kind of like the thing that made me choose is because when I came to Xiamen, I was actually studying marine biotechnology for my first year in degree. So while I was studying that, I kind of, how to say, I came across like a lot of like these like travel filmmakers. They are very famous, and then I kept on watching like a lot of like amazing films, and then I tried to look at like what makes their films different than my normal videos. So I kind of it kind of intrigued this interesting part of my brain. So I just want to like explore further. And then the same reason as well. It's like what kind of inspired me to make videos is I just want to be able to show kind of like how I see the world around me to others. Yeah.
Okay, Josh, what was the initial feedback when you first started doing this and how did it affect you?
Whoa. Okay. When I first started, okay, because I first started, most of my videos I actually only let my family see it. So most of the feedback actually came from them more often. Um, I mean, there was never really a very negative feedback because at that time, like people feel like if you want to have fun with it, why not just do it? So everything was quite positive. Um, yeah, so actually initial feedback it was a lot of how like, oh, like, okay, this is maybe you filming this a bit too long, maybe you can cut short on the next one. So it's all very constructive feedback. Yeah. And it kind of made me have a highest standard for myself because I feel like if I want more people to be able to accept what I'm trying to create, I need to be able to satisfy what they want to watch. Yeah.
What issue would you consider when you film?
Okay, when I'm filming, okay, definitely the first thing whenever I start to film is kind of what is the story and what is the message I want to tell. And then second of all, I'll go and look for a very suitable music. So I'll just sit down there with my earphones and then just search for the most suitable music that gives me the kind of feel that I want for this video. So after it's like the message, and I'll search for the music to get kind of like the overall vibe and style. I'll then try to look for locations, and then whether or not is this a place that I can go? Is it too far, or do I need some other people to help me on this when I'm filming? Yeah, so these are kind of like the main things.
Nice to meet you, George.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
What challenges have you faced while doing this?
This as in my and
Your
general
entire-
filming
yeah.
and
Yeah,
anything,
yeah.
what challenges.
Mhm.
Okay, so one of my seniors, I think you guys would probably know William Sang.
Yep.
So he has always started his journey of like filming himself. So that kind of like also is very inspiring because sometimes like I don't really want to bother people around me that much. So I don't want to be like, hey, do you have free time? I want to film you. So the challenge here most often that I face is I have a lot of ideas that I want to create, but to be able to film it all by myself, I think that's kind of challenging because when you film yourself, you can't move the camera. It has to be, on the tripod and everything. And I think throughout filming, there's a lot of like kind of trial and error, because, like for example, with color grading and everything, editing, and yeah, a lot of this type of issues.
So you mentioned William Singh, right? Is he your inspiration throughout this entire thing?
Yeah, I definitely,
Your role model.
yeah. Because like when I first started off as marine biotechnology student, I actually finished my marine biotechnology for like 1 year. But during that 1 year, I got to know William Sang through my brothers because they're actually friends.
Mhm.
So he kind of showed me, and then I feel like, hey, he's actually doing video and he's doing something that he loves to do, and he's doing a great job at it. So I feel like if he can do it, then I can also probably hop on the same kind of path, and then
And try something.
try something new. Yeah.
What opportunity or benefits have you gained while doing this?
I think one thing is, okay, up until today, I'm still not a very I doubt myself a lot. But then when I'm doing filming and everything, I feel like it kind of gives me a sense of kind of confidence, because I feel like people would look for me to help create something for them because they trust in me. So that trust, it kind of gives me a confidence in myself. So I feel like in terms of benefit, it does kind of help my mentality a lot more. In terms of like opportunities, I did manage to get to know some like famous people, like maybe influencers or TV hosts and everything. So they gave me a lot of like these experiences that I think without getting into filmmaking, I probably wouldn't be able to experience. Maybe like Group Vibes concert, like those interview close up with the artists and everything, award shows and everything. Yeah, most likely I wouldn't even have the chance to experience that if I'm not doing filmmaking.
Then next question, how do you come up with the idea for the project that you want, and how do you plan the entire filming process?
How do I plan the entire? This is like kind of similar to the the issues that I think about. So normally I would actually go and look. I have this habit of always rewatching short clips of films that I really like. Ever since I think a few years back, I kept on doing that. So whenever I kind of want to plan to make a film, there would have these like short little visual images that pop into my head. So once that happens, I will try to go and look for reference images on Pinterest and everything. And then once I go there, I feel like the idea will start to get clearer because I start to see like actually images of the things that I like and the things that I want it to appear in the film. So most of the time, the ideas, so far, the films that I make, the ideas actually come from kind of like a very, it's kind of negative to say this, but it comes from a negative part inside me, and I kind of want to like express it out. So most of the film ideas come from there. Yeah.
Okay. Then in that case, what do you think is the most interesting part of the entire process?
The most interesting part.
Yeah.
I think I can't just jot down like one interesting part. Personally, I feel like I like the practical, being able to hands-on capture the thing by myself, like filmmaking using the camera. But another most rewarding is the post-editing part, because although it's very tiring, it takes up a lot of time. But it is the process that turns individual clips that mean nothing, but through editing you can turn it into a story. So that's, I think, tiring and also rewarding at the same time.
And also, what genre do you enjoy the most when it comes to filming?
Oh, okay, definitely not drama, because that's a bit difficult. Like there's a lot of things to consider in drama. I think like kind of like experimental films or documentary films. These are the things like, because I'm the type who likes to kind of like use the film to tell a story. So having experimental gives me the creative freedom, and documentary, you know, I'm able to do narration, able to tell a story, not only my own but some other people's story. I can tell it through documentary films. Yeah.
Right. What was the most memorable experience you have had so far?
The most memorable experience I've had so far. There are quite a few. Okay, I think there was definitely once was, okay, I helped this TV host. She's a TV host for Astro Park. So she invited me onto like a award show to help her film. So after I helped her film everything, like during that kind of filming session, there's a lot of these like Malaysian actors and actresses that I didn't know. So it was kind of a cool and very memorable experience. Like, oh, I actually get to stand on like a Malaysian kind of red carpet style and then see how these different artists interact with each other. And then actually after I helped to finish her video, quite a few of like kind of Malaysia quite well-known actors and actresses, they actually reached out to her and asked like for my contact. So that was kind of like the first time that I get quite a very good recognition. Although they didn't reach out to me now, but then at that time it felt really good to kind of get recognized by these people. Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. Yeah, at least now they know. Then yeah, who knows in the future.
Then do you have like your most favorite project so far out of everything you've done?
I mean, it's definitely so far the things that I've definitely is Hourglass, which is for my final year project, because inside that film I've put in a lot of the things that I really want to do for a very long time. So a lot of the things that I really hope in watching, I also put it inside that film really. Yeah.
That's cool. Are there any strategy that you use to maximize the reach of your film?
Whoa. Okay, actually this is kind of like the hardest part, I feel like. Because the strategy, okay, maybe I'll start with the strategy first. I mainly focus on Instagram, because I think now Instagram it's easier for you to kind of like connect and communicate with the people who follow you. So most of the time I'll just kind of do what I think everybody will do, like, you know, you share on a story. If let's say I'm willing to spend a little bit of money, I'll probably boost it up as advertisement and everything. But yeah, I don't really have a very, very solid strategy yet, because currently I'm also still figuring it out. That's actually one of the most difficult part, to reach out to people that don't even know you, because they never seen your face. They wouldn't even care what you create, no matter how good it is. So yeah, the strategy part is definitely something that I'm still figuring out now. Yeah.
Ooh. We know that the entire process of filming and editing is very tiring. What do you do to take a break and stay motivated?
Okay. I would always go back to listening to music, because even when I'm working, I would just listen to music so that I don't get distracted from anything outside. So actually, like during filmmaking and editing, it's very easy to get this kind of like brain fog, that you will suddenly lose your creativity, and you will feel mentally drained, like you don't really want to do this anymore. So whenever that happens, I would either just listen to a very calming, soft music, or I would just probably like kind of go outside for a bit, yeah, just to get some fresh air.
Okay. Then we know that you are currently enrolled in Xiamen's advertising course. Can you tell us on how it has helped you in your entire journey so far?
Okay, so coming from studying as marine biotechnology, because it's a very science thing and there's a lot of physics, there's a lot of maths. So when at that time I actually had a little bit of interest in filmmaking already, but because of this area, like this field of study, no one really cares that much. Like, what can this help us? You can't really do anything. So when I came to advertising, a lot of the environment that was created there was very open, like openness, very creative, and then it's kind of like how you express your ideas, either through design, through photo, or anything. So I feel like advertising course in Xiamen University definitely gave me a platform for people to kind of like reach out to me and people to know where I am. And yeah.
So just to clarify, you were entirely in the marine biotechnology course, or do you switch?
I studied for 1 year and then I switched. Yeah, it's a 4 years course, but I just wanted to make sure that this is actually what I want to do. So I made sure I finished that 1 year before I made any switches.
I see. Then did anybody oppose to that idea at first? Like maybe your parents?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, like the only people that I reached out to about this was my family. So my brothers, they were very supportive. Because they know that I like to make videos and everything at that time, but it was just like they felt like it was like a hobby or anything, but they're very supportive. So they just tell me like, if you really want to do that, you must do the things that make you happy. So that time I feel like, okay, I'm still young. If I really want to live my life the happiest, then I really have to do what I really want to do. So I go and tell my parents, and it took them a while, but they were always very understanding. So I think they may be hesitant a bit at first to kind of accept it, but after that, they also realized like in the future, it's gonna be my life. So if this is something that I really believe in, they would support me all the way. Yeah.
Really nice family you have. Very, very supportive.
Yeah, I'm very grateful also to have them to support me.
Then do you think there's something that the course could improve on?
The course, advertising course. I don't know if I even have the place to kind of criticize the course. I feel like currently it's doing very well because in advertising we learn a bunch of stuff. Although you're not interested in design, but you'll get to touch on various areas of designing, not only in theory but also in like how industry people actually do design. So I think it's already doing very good in terms of how they expose students to different fields so that you have more opportunities in the future. One thing that could improve? Oh gosh.
Anything. The school can take it into consideration.
Oh, the school. Okay, I'm not too sure if they would. I guess like some of the facilities could be better. Although like currently we have access to like a whole bunch of camera equipments and everything, but it's still lacking a little bit. Currently they upgraded they created like this audio recording room, which is pretty good. They're really improving. But I think there's still a lot more areas that they could add in more so that students have more things to explore. Yeah.
So you're talking in terms of like the quality of the equipment and
the quality of the equipment, and I think currently they're also doing that already because I've heard that they're trying to get more advanced equipments, more latest equipments. Yeah.
Then do you have a problem with like booking the room to using it, or do you like always have like trouble with like you want to have it but somebody else already took the place?
I feel like this is, I mean, it can be a hassle, but then I feel like it's something that you can't, it's inevitable. You cannot change it. You can't stop it because there's so many people. Like even my batch, I have like 80 classmates, 80 students, and then my juniors, some have like 100 over students. Yeah. So to kind of be able to create a system that makes everything very efficient, I feel like it's like impossible. So I feel like now what they're doing is whenever you want to book a room, you just have to go as like a first come first serve basis, which I think it's fair. Yeah.
What advice would you give to others who are interested in filming?
And advice, okay, I think I have actually thought about this like quite a long time already. I think a lot of people now, they're very influenced by seeing all those like kind of insane gears, equipments that all those filmmakers have, and then they can create all these things. That they kind of have this mindset like, I need all those expensive equipments in order to start filming. But the truth is like, you don't really need all those. As long as you have your phone, that's good enough for you to start. Because like, if you keep waiting on all those expensive equipments, those things are gonna get more and more expensive. And like the more expensive it is, the more you wait, I feel like the more your passion will start to fade as well. So I think one advice is if you have like an idea, although you don't have a lot of equipments, just get your phone and just film something. Let some people see it, and then when you get that feedback, you will continue like kind of have this desire to improve yourself, and that's when like the climb will start. Yeah, so I think just start if you have the ideas and the passion.
Then what was the very first gear you used when you first started it besides your phone?
Besides my phone,
Yeah. Any specific thing? Like maybe the first camera you got?
the first camera I got is also the camera that I'm using now. So I've been using this camera for I think 3 to 4 years. I think one of the first kind of gear that I actually bought was a handheld kind of like gimbal. So not like those electronic ones, because I'm not even that very confident in this field yet. So I just want to get something very cheap that I think like, okay, if down the road I don't need this, I can just put it aside. So I got that, which is like around 100 ringgit. Compared to digital ones, it's way cheaper. Yeah. So at that time, I think this was one of the first things that I invested in, besides then my camera.
Is there like any specific brand of
Oh.
the items that you would recommend to them for a new user?
Okay. In terms of like camera brands, if you want to do filming, I feel like now Sony is probably the best brand to go for. Canon, although it's good, but I think they're still lacking in terms of video. They're great in photos and they have a lot of lenses and everything, but I would still actually recommend Sony. In terms of like gimbal, there's like a lot of brands like Zhiyun, DJI, all those. So currently I'm using DJI, and a lot of industry people that I know, they're also using DJI. So I think it's because it's very consistent, they're very reliable, and they're constantly expanding into different softwares and everything. So gimbal wise and even drone wise, yeah, I think DJI is a good brand to go for.
Well, that's it for the first batch question.
Okay.
Then we'll take just a very short break now
Alright.
for you to catch up.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.